Hey everybody, I'm Lady Solavellan and welcome to my realm of purpose. A little bit ago I got together with Lynn's Tavern and Cassidei to talk about Dragon Age, the Veilguard and Solavellan, because we're all Solasmancers and we had a lot to talk about. This is just one part of our conversation. All three of us have our own parts on our own channels, so yeah, don't forget to check out the other parts. And of course, don't forget to check out their channels, because I love their content and I know you will too. Enjoy the rest of the video.
Yeah, when did you guys first play Inquisition?
Oh god.
I played it, let me think. I played it after Trespasser had released. I got into the games pretty late, actually.
Yeah.
I think I was like 18, 19 when I played it, and I'm turning 28 in like 2 weeks.
So, that's a good birthday present.
It is, yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. Nice.
Yeah, no, I'm really happy. It's perfect. I played like after Trespasser released. Dragon Age Origins was the first game because I did play them all in order, and I played them all mostly back to back. The only thing I did was I took a break when I started Inquisition and hit the hinterlands. I got kind of overwhelmed with the open world format and the loads of quests, so I took a break of a few months and then I picked it back up again.
That sounds just like how I did it. The Hinterlands also overwhelmed me when I first got the games, and I quit for a whole year, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And then I got a Solus romance spoiler, and I was like, oh, well, now I need to finish the romance, so I went back and finished it.
I started in 2017. I think the thing that got me into it was Horizon Zero Dawn.
Okay.
Because I got a PS4 for the first time. It was the first thing I ever bought for myself, like big thing. And I'm like, I'm gonna get so many games! Wow, this dragon thing looks cool! Yeah! And then it's been a downward slope since then, so...
Nice. Yeah, similar for me. I started playing around, I think, 2017-ish, and got overwhelmed from just... I didn't understand the whole, like, a companion approval thing. It was, like, my first RP game. So I was like, dude, Solus, he was basically disproving everything I did. I was like, well, this isn't gonna work. So that kind of discouraged me, but eventually I realized there's such thing as guides. And also that companions have like preferences and like moral alignments, and that kind of like clicked in my head. I was like, oh, I see what's going on here. But so I haven't been waiting for the game nearly as long as some people have, but I'm just as excited. So excited for this new game. I need my Solavellan. It needs to be, what's the word? Resolved in some way.
We need closure.
Exactly.
Everybody's gonna die.
No.
No!
Probably, but no.
I just died in your arms tonight.
Oh, we're talking about that type of dying. I mean.
Yeah. No, I think out of everything for Veilguard, it does sound stupid, but the thing I'm looking forward to, the Solavellan resolution.
Yeah. Well, same. Gotta be real.
Honestly, yeah.
Which feels bad because I know there's a lot of other stuff to look forward to, which has got me extra excited, but the main thing is I get to see him again.
Yeah, like I know like the main thing I talk about is literally only Solavellan, but it's not that I don't care about the rest of the game. I am very excited for Dragon Age in general, but Solus is like the main reason that I've played Dragon Age Inquisition and one of the best video game romances I've ever played. So it's hard to not be mostly excited about that.
I'm really hoping for a happy ending, but I'm not sure if we're gonna get it.
Ooh, yeah, that's a topic right there.
Yeah.
I'm also really hoping for a happy ending. I think that it's possible. I'm just like, I have no idea how they could pull it off and which way they do it. Just the way they've been talking about it, like the devs. I know Bush has talked a lot about the Solavellan romance, and they've said that they think that they did the romance justice. And I'm like, okay, you can't say that and not make me excited. Like, there's got to be at least... I expect that there's probably going to be 2 different outcomes, depending on your Lavellan's feelings towards Solus. But I don't know how they're going to, like, play that out. I don't know. I'm really confused because I feel like the lack of choices makes it really hard. Because I think some Lavellans, they romance them till the end, and then... what if their mind changed, like, during the last 8 years, I don't know.
Yeah, because I think the only things you can set at the start of the game is if you romance Solus or not, and then if you wanted to redeem him or just stop him.
Well, I guess that would make it a little easier, because if their opinion did change halfway through, then you could just choose your option there, I guess.
Yeah.
I think.
I feel
that's
why that's there at the beginning.
Yeah, that makes sense. So
Yeah.
then that would probably be like what I was saying. There's probably going to be two different outcomes. Maybe one's less traumatic than the other one. I don't know.
I think it's also gonna depend on what your rook does and how your rook interacts with Solus, because I think
you're right.
maybe we're gonna be able to change his mind. Maybe not entirely, but maybe we're gonna be able to push him into either one or two directions, which is maybe one, he kind of halfway realizes that his plan might not be the best thing, and maybe if we push him the other way, he's gonna go through with his plan all the way, and it might end badly for him, or we're gonna have to kill him or something. I think it's gonna be related to that, as well as what your Solavellan chose at the end of Trespasser.
Oh, I think you're right. That's a good way of looking at it. Yeah, I think Rook's gonna have a big pull on Solus for sure.
Oh, I found that quote, by the way.
Yes.
For the sake of our audio listeners. Daria, there we go. Daria said, it's surprising that no one has asked yet, and you don't answer questions like this, but Solavellans all over the world are worried, building theories, waiting for something special, so could you at least hint about something, a little bit, so as not to go crazy? Trickweek's response, like Epler said in the interview video, we think we have a story that will work for players who loved Solus, hated Solus, or are new to the series and have no idea who Solus is. So I think we're gonna get something, at least.
Yeah, that is the quote that gave me so much hope. I think you sent it to me when we first saw it. And I was like, see, how can we not like expect at least some sort of more good-ish outcome for Solavellan? They're teasing it. They totally are.
I think
Otherwise they wouldn't say that.
Right.
They would say,
Corinne Bush has also said something about the romance. She was very vague about it because she didn't want to spoil anything. If I remember correctly, it was during the second Q&A session on Discord, but someone sent in a question about the Solavellan romance, and she was like, I'm just going off from what I remember here, but she said something along the lines of, we made sure to give it a satisfying ending, and she didn't say more than that, because she didn't want to spoil, so I have faith in them that they did something great for it.
they did great with Trespasser, they did great with Inquisition, they did great with everything else so far. I just can't see it not being resolved well.
Yeah.
Even if I'm not happy with it.
And the fact that Corinne Bush is also a Solavellan and is a big part of the whole production, I have more faith that it's going to be okay because of that.
If we're going off of the idea that, yeah, we're going to get a happy ending, what are your ideal endings then?
Oh, that's the question right there.
I need a second to think.
Yeah, me too. You know, you'd think as much as I want a happy ending, I'd have thought about it. It's just hard to imagine what a happy ending actually looks like for them.
Yeah, because there's so many possibilities, but also because I have a feeling it's going to, the ending for them is going to be bittersweet. So maybe it's not a complete happy ending, but it's also not very, how do you say that? Depressing, I guess. It's just bittersweet. Which is maybe one of them dies. I still think Solus might die by the end of it all. I don't want him to. I don't want him to. But I feel like it's quite a big possibility.
Yeah.
Which I guess I'm not sure what a good ending looks like, but what I've thought about is that towards the very end, he realizes that what he's doing is not great. He changes his mind, and then in order to stop whatever he's doing, he has to sacrifice himself. And then before he dies, he and Lavellan get a scene where they talk about everything that they haven't been able to talk about in the time they were apart, and they say that they love each other, and then he dies in her arms. Something along those lines.
It hurts.
And then the world is saved, and their ending is bittersweet because Solus truly loved her and Lavellan truly loved him, but he's dead now, so that's very sad.
Yes, I would say that's very sad. Well,
Oh my
that is great. I
God.
love that. If that was gonna be like if there's an ending where Solus dies, I would be totally for that.
Yeah.
Me personally, I want him to live.
I mean,
But I mean,
same.
obviously you do too. But
Same.
but that is a really good, just like a theory. If that did happen, I would love that. What about you, Holly? Have you thought about it?
Oh Lord. I have a bunch of ideas in my head between marriage, between they just run away together, or something along something nice, something wholesome, or that Meet Joe Black film. Rewatched that recently and I
Oh, I remember
cried.
that. Yeah, you told me about that theory.
Maybe I have a feeling that might happen. But the one I really want to happen, I don't think will, is that. So there's two gods that get released. Let's say, in theory, there's two old god souls up for grabs, right? So what if Lavellan and Solus just kind of take them and become the new gods of the, heads of the pantheon?
That would be
Oh,
interesting.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen, I don't think, but I like it.
Yeah, it's a cool theory for
It's
sure.
a cool theory, yeah.
I hope someone writes the fanfic about it.
I'm kind of on the line between I want it to be like either just pure happy or the bittersweet kind of ending. Because on one hand, I'm like, I don't know if if like a happy ending would be satisfying or not. Because I mean, yeah, it would be satisfying, but I don't know. I just feel like with how this was a magnificent romance. I mean, even if it was just left as it was without the Veilguard coming, it would still be one of the top video game romances for me. It's this like this star-crossed lovers kind of thing. So on one hand, I want to see a Solavellan wedding. I doubt that we're gonna get to see it in this game, but I would love to see a Solavellan wedding. I just want them to be happy, man. I don't know. I haven't really thought of too much details because I don't want to get like false expectations, which I already have. So like
That's
the
fair.
specifics are
Yeah.
kind of eluding me, but I love those ideas that you guys mentioned. The bittersweet ending, that sounds great if it's going to be a sad ending. I'm also on the line of like I almost kind of want Lavellan to die, maybe just because Solus and Trauma is yummy together.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But either way, yeah, that's kind of just I'm cool with a really nice happy ending or a bittersweet ending as long as they get to kiss one last time. I'll be happy.
Yes.
Yeah, same, to be honest. Yeah.
Imagine if they get the reunion, but they don't get a full reunion. Like they might see each other across the distance, realize that, and then one of them dies.
Oh, that would be awful.
No, I will.
The one last tragedy that sets off the Dreadwolf.
Oh, no.
Incoming Twitter rant, my first one.
I feel like that's another thing they need to nail is the first initial meeting between the two after
Yeah.
all these years. That's something they need to get right.
Hmm.
I'm not sure what it should look like, but I know they need to get it right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Especially since like so many people have different ideas of what that reunion would look like, how their Lavellan will react to seeing him again. Like,
Yeah, that's the scary part. I'm sure the devs were like, "Oh my gosh, we really got to get this good because people are going to go insane if not."
Yep. I mean, there was the whole hawk thing in Dragon Age Inquisition, where people did not agree with the way their hawk was.
And I do like to think that they've learned from that.
Yeah, same.
They seem to listen really well just to people talking. They're very active on social media and just hearing people. So
Yeah.
I'm not expecting another Hawk situation, but I can't help but be nervous still.
It's also because we don't get to control our Inquisitor. I know that was the case for Hawk as well, but I think for some reason a lot of people, including me, are very attached to their Inquisitor. And the fact that we can't control what they say, especially related to Solus and everything, I think that also makes people kind of nervous or
Yeah, that's exactly it.
maybe disappointed. I mean, I wasn't expecting that we'd be able to control the Inquisitor, but I know some people are still disappointed about that, which is fair.
Right.
So yeah, I wonder how that is gonna go down, because I've heard that we've got very few choices. I've heard that they're related to who the Inquisitor romanced and what they did with the Inquisition, if they disbanded or not. But are we able to set anything at all about our Inquisitor's personality? Because I don't think so. I haven't heard about that.
I know some people did say for the Inquisitor that there are options that, you know, you can obviously make your Inquisitor be a little more of a jerk or a little more kind. But compared to, like, Hawk, I feel like the Inquisitor's personality might be a little easier to kind of generalize, hopefully. But
Yeah.
I still agree. I would much rather control my Inquisitor because I would say something completely different than someone else probably would to seeing Solus again. So
Yeah. Even if it's just for a moment.
Woof. Is that the Dread Wolf?
it is. He's in my house. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, what a shame.
I feel like there's a lot that they've not told us, I feel like.
You think?
So I'm hopeful. Yeah, I'm incredibly hopeful because we've seen, I believe, the majority of things that have been revealed are Act 1.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's 2 whole acts that have not... We don't know anything. So they've got a lot of room to, I guess, explore Inquisitor, explore pretty much everything else. I have faith.
I also have faith. Still nervous, but I'm more on the faithful, like, I think it's going to turn out fine. I'm sure it's going to be great type side, but I know, like, you know, with Hawk, for example, like, we were able to, like, kind of choose Hawk's, like, outcome as the Inquisitor. And I'm wondering if it's going to be, like, for example, let's say you're playing Rook and Solavellan and Solus are having a reunion or something. Maybe, like, as Rook, you, like, tell one of them to talk to each other, and if you don't, then they don't talk or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
I would much rather me be able to choose that from Lavellan's perspective, but if that's the route they went, it's like, oh, you can prompt them to go do things, then I would be okay with that as long as I kind of have some control over what they're saying. Or,
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that would make it a little easier.
That's true. Yeah.
I wonder if talking to Varric will influence how you set things like your Inquisitor's personality and how they react to things. Like, oh, the Inquisitor, I heard they were this, and he's like, oh, well, they were like this, and then like, oh, but I heard this actually, and that's how you set it.
Oh, that's a good point.
Maybe.
I was thinking and hoping they do that kind of thing for other choices as well. Like, for example, the Divine. Maybe you can talk to a random NPC or another character, and you can talk about who the Divine is in Orlais. And then they're like, oh, yeah, wasn't she with the Inquisition? And then you can say, oh, yeah, it was Vivienne, or no, actually it was Cassandra, or it was Liliana.
Yeah.
And you can set things that way.
Yeah.
I'm also still not
If they were gonna do it.
Huh? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was saying if they were gonna do it and they didn't want to spoil things at the very start of the game, I think that would be the way to do it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you know it'll come up, you know?
I'm just still not over the fact that Kieran is not a choice.
I know. So crazy.
Sad about that.
Or the well,
Yeah,
but
especially-
don't get me started on the well.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, that's
also
a rabbit
weird.
hole.
Yeah.